Hello there and welcome to a review of the game last night. Now Liverpool played Tranmere in our very first pre-season game of the 1920 season, and it was obviously, it's going to be a mishmash of different players, different experience of players, and like you've got the more experienced senior players, a lot of the younger players as well were also on display, and I say that literally they were on display. They were magnificent performance all round. And while I appreciate people will look at it and just say, well, it's only Tranmere, totally agree. It's always a fixture that I think that we have every pre-season against Tranmere. Always, it's got a good atmosphere to the game, a well-natured game as well. I want to go to what our 11 was to start the game. I think this was the 11 that started the game. Simon Mignolet, Nathaniel Klein, Nathaniel Phillips, Joe Gomez, Yasser Larouci. Not entirely sure on that second name. Apologies for that one. Adam Lallana, James Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain in the midfield, Harry Wilson, Ryan Kent, and Rhian Brewster, or Rhian Brewster. I'm not entirely sure how you say his first name. But first half was impressive. Nathaniel Klein absolutely battered a goal right in, from the edge, almost just on the inside of the box, right foot, absolutely tanked it. And it was a really, really surprising goal, considering the source, with it being Nathaniel Klein. But there's a lot of talk about Klein at the moment. Is Klein going to stay or is he going to go? Should we even consider keeping him? And I say yes, we should. I really do believe that we should. He is excellent cover, and we would be covered by three players in that position, being Trent, Nathaniel Klein, and Hover, who came on in the second half as well. So I think that it was a great start to the game. And then the guy that I am personally looking at this season to possibly be a breakout star, is Brewster. And he came on, he didn't come on, he started the game, obviously. He scored 2 goals, and they weren't like bangers, they weren't like, 40-yard bangers or anything like that, or massive, great big curling shots. They were your typical, like, Robbie Fowler in the box, electric. He's switched on. Like, just near the start of the match, within the first 10 minutes or something, you maybe saw that he was getting a little bit physically outdone by the Tranmere players in defence. They were obviously maybe getting a bit more physical with him. They're a lot bigger than he is, a lot more built, developed than that. While Brewster is only 18 at max, I think. So, in that moment, you're thinking, maybe he's not going to show a great deal. He's not going to be able to show what he can do. So within those first 10 minutes, though, Brewster himself must have obviously thought, right, I'm not getting the physical, I'm not going to win these physical matches. So instead what he did, he seemed to read the game, seemed to read where passing moves were going, where the ball was going to come into the box, and maybe where he could then affect the game most effectively, and he would put himself in that position. And it was a really great reading of the game. Attacking intelligence, attacking positioning of Brewster was brilliant in that first 45 minutes. Scored 2 goals. Robbie Fowler always used to say, whenever he was asked what was his best game, and this was on commentary last night, actually, it was on the LFC TV commentary, they said, when he was asked what his favourite goals were, what his best goals were, he would say a tap-in, because that's what he's supposed to be doing in the box. You see that a little bit with Brewster. Brewster is exceptionally switched on in the box. He's electric in the box. But he's electric as an attacking player as well, linking up as well. And while we've lost Daniel Sturridge this year, like after the Champions League and everything like that, he is now gone from Liverpool. This is the one, along with Divock Origi as well. But this is the guy that I want when Firmino's not playing, or to come on to replace Firmino, maybe even start a couple of games if he makes a good impression. But he made a great impression on me, to be fair. And it was 3-0 in the first half, and it was looking comprehensive. It was looking comprehensive. Regardless of whether we've got young players in that team or not, we had, I think we had the better of the game overall. Tranmere did have a goal ruled out late on, but it was offside or something like that. I didn't actually watch the replay back whether it was offside, but it's pre-season at the end of the day. Winning the games isn't the most important thing. It's watching the flow of the play, and I'll come back to that after we go off from the second 11 as well. We basically made wholesale changes when you saw, I think it was Divock Origi came on, Bobby Duncan came on and scored, Origi scored, Curtis Jones came on and scored, Woodburn came on, Fabinho, Kijana Hover and Joel Matip came on as well. And again, it went 3-0 in the second half as well, 6-0 overall. And they were very, very good goals by all of them. They really were. They were good goals in the box, but really, really good. Really well-worked goals as well. And it just shows, for me, when I come back to the style of play that I was just going to mention then, coming back to the style of play of both sets of players, Jurgen Klopp comes out and says, these mixture of players like James Milner with Rhian Brewster and all this, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain haven't played together yet. So that first team in the first half haven't played together, maybe haven't gelled, but the system was there, the playing style was there, the passing game, the attacking game, and the defensive game was there. The second half made changes, but the same style of attack was there. The same style of in the midfield, in the defence, the passing moves and everything like that was all the same. So it gives me a lot more faith that when Jurgen Klopp turns around and says, we are going to have a quiet summer in the transfer window, Liverpool fans now, we have to put our faith in the fact that Klopp actually knows what he's doing. Yes, he's gone out and he's bought big money signings in the past, just last year, but that he's going to bring these guys through in the right way. Maybe throughout this pre-season, the US tour and stuff like that as well. Maybe that is what's going to happen. And there's going to be a lot of you that don't like that. I am personally more excited about someone like Brewster coming in, or Bobby Duncan, or any of the other forwards that we had that were on display last night. Even like Harry Wilson, Ryan Kent, those guys made good opportunities, made good chances. I'm much more excited about having these guys possibly come through than going out and spending a lot of money on a forward that might work and might not. You never know how it's going to happen. Whether they play well in League On, the Bundesliga, La Liga, anything like that. As soon as they come to the Premier League, it's a different kettle of fish. Always is. Always is. I go back to, this is a random one actually, I go back to Graham Souness when he used to play in Italy. And he came back to the English leagues. And he just said, everything was different. I was insanely unfit. I wasn't in any condition to play in the English league when I came back from Italy because everything was so much slower. It's tactically different. Now, obviously, that's back then. And I'm not saying that things haven't changed, but it certainly would say that, you know, the English leagues play with a lot more intensity. Well, the Premier League especially plays with a lot more intensity, high pressing. Everything is all about pass and move and getting on the ball and smashing opponents with your defence or controlling games as best as you can. It is entirely a different game than across the rest of Europe. So if you go out there and you buy forwards or you buy a midfield or whatever, and you go out and just buy them, and then you've got guys like, you know, like Brewster, Wilson, Ryan Kent, what were our other guys? Curtis Jones, Bobby Duncan, you know, Ben Woodburn as well is going to be looking to try and impress this season. Then we've got our younger guys in defence. Hover always looks impressive, in my opinion, anyway. Who else did we have? Last night, Larouci played well. I felt that Nathaniel Phillips played well alongside Gomez. I just felt that I felt we played really well, and it gives me a lot more faith, if you know what I mean, that if we don't go out there and sign a big money signing like a Nicolas Pepe or something like that, or we don't go out and we don't buy a left back, I am not entirely concerned, because I feel that Klopp is looking at this and thinking, right, I get that it's only against Tranmere, but these guys are going to be, some of these guys at least will be joining the rest of the squad on the US tour. This is going to be these couple of games are going to be their audition to get on that tour. They want to go on that tour, and then they can make an impact. And then if they make an impact there, then they can make, you know, the substitutes bench or something like that. And then you've got a competitor. So if we've got like two left backs in the reserves that are playing well in pre-season, then that gives us a much better, you know, going into the season. If we don't go out and buy a left back, then we've got great ones in the reserves. Where did Trent come from? Everyone, I'm not saying no one forgets where Trent come from, but he came from the fact that I think we were short on right backs. Klein was maybe injured or something like that. He came in and he made an impression. And look at him now. We've got to have the same level of faith in attacking players as well, like Brewster, Wilson, Kent, all these guys, Bobby Duncan. I can mention them all day long again. We've got to start having faith, because if we don't go out and buy people in the transfer window, then a lot of Liverpool Twitter, shall we say, will go up in arms and will say that we're, stagnating, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, because we're not doing what like Man City did and going out and spending heavy money on a midfielder. It's because they don't have people, apart from like Phil Foden, coming through from the academy. They don't. We have a handful of people, quite a big handful of people that can come from our academy and they can feature in our first team. And if you've watched any of them, whether it's different age levels, whatever, they can come in and they can make an impact. Definitely, I absolutely believe that. Maybe I'm one of the only few that believe that. I don't believe that we need to go out there and spend massive money. We need to see what the rest of pre-season holds for us, whether we take losses or we win all of our pre-season games. It doesn't matter. It gives you an image of what we've got in reserve, and it gives Klopp an image of what we've got in the reserves as well as the first team this year. So, I felt it was really, really good. Brewster was the pick of the bunch for me, but maybe I'm being biased because I am really looking out for his performances in pre-season, and I really want to see him get first team games in the Premier League next season. I really, really do. Let me know what you think anyway. If you managed to watch the game or you just saw highlights, anything like that, let me know what you thought in the comments below. And do you agree with my points about you maybe using the younger players into the first team instead of maybe dipping into the transfer market? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching this video, and if you have liked it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you later.